Thank you for your patience tonight. We'll call to order the Stephenville Town Council meeting agenda for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Janelle, would you please take the roll call?
Councilor Barker. Here. Councilor Bragg. Here. Councilor Smith.
Here.
Councilor Brown.
Councilmember Brown has been excused. She's on vacation.
And Mayor Michelson.
Here, would you all please stand for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like you all to take a moment of silence, please. Remove your hats for the 9/11 victims and responders that were lost during that terrible accident. So with that, could we all bow our heads and take a moment of silence? Thank you so much. Well, moving along to item number 4, public comments. Public comments on anything not on the agenda tonight, not on the agenda. Ken.
I'm up here, my name's Ken Scrivener, I'm at 203 6th Street, and I just came tonight to make short comment on the flag cases on the wall, the addition here. And I saw the flag, it was still up front, and it is quite battered and torn and worn, and it just made me pause and think about the 184-year history of our town. And it's been through its own battles and fights, and just to me, it reminded me of the men and women who have served the town and sought to protect it and watch over it, progress it, make it a better town over that time. And it's been some rough goes at times, but we're still here. And that to me was a reminder and just a dedication to those people that serve hard and serve well, and how much I appreciate my town, the people that serve it well, and seek to keep moving it forward. And there's a sign at the bottom that says, tattered and torn, battle worn, still bravely waving in the storm. And so I just want to let them know I appreciate those people that serve in that capacity with a desire to better the town and take it through the storms, because there's been many, I'm sure, over 184 years. So thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Moving on to item number 5, approval of minutes. Item number A, special town council meeting minutes of 8/7/2025. Can you entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve special town council meeting minutes from 8/7/2025.
I have a motion by Councilmember Barker. May I have a second, please? Second. Councilmember Smith has a second. We have discussion from the council on special town council meeting minutes. Is the council good on the special meeting minutes? Okay. Seeing no comments from the council, do we have any comments from the public on the special meeting minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilor Barker.
Aye.
Councilor Bragg. Aye. And Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving along to item number B, special council meeting minutes for 8/14/2025. Can I get a motion from the council, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept town council meeting minutes 8/14/25.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Bragg.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Bragg on the town council meeting minutes at 8/14/2025. We have a discussion from the council. Is the council good on item number B, the special town council meeting minutes? Seeing no comments from the council, I'll move it to the public. Are there any comments from the public on the 8/14/25 meeting minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Barker,
Aye.
and Councilmember Bragg.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number C, special town council meeting minutes of 8/21/2025. Can you entertain a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I move that we approve town council meeting minutes from 8/21 of 2025.
We have a motion by Councilmember Barker. May I have a second, please? Councilmember Bragg.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Bragg. Do we have any comments from the council on the special town council meeting minutes of 8/21? The council good on the special town council meeting minutes? Okay, we'll move along to the public. Are there any comments from the public on the minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
and Councilmember Bragg.
Motion passes 3-0. Moving along to item number D, special town council meeting minutes of 8/21/2025, closed session. Can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept special town council minutes of 8/21/25, the closed session.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
Second motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker on the closed session meeting minutes. We can't have discussion on that, so you can't have a second. We'll move right to the vote. Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Bragg,
Aye.
Councilmember Barker,
Aye.
and Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving along to item number E, town council meeting minutes of 8/28/2025. Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept town council minutes of 8/28/25.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do I have a second, please? Councilmember Barker.
Second motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker. Do we have a discussion from the council on the 8/28/2025 minutes? Is the council good on the 8/28 meeting minutes? Moving along to the public. Any comments from the public on the 8/28/2025 meeting minutes? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker,
Aye.
Councilmember Bragg,
Aye.
and Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you all. Moving on to item number 6, approval of biweekly claims. Can I entertain a motion, please, on item number A, claims number 19891 to 19927, please. Councilmember Smith.
I move that we consider claims number 19891 through 19927.
We have a motion by Councilmember Smith. Do I have a second? Councilmember Barker.
Second motion.
We have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Barker on the claims. We have a discussion on the claims from the council. to go on the claims? Okay. We'll open it up to the public. Are there any comments from the public on the claims? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Gray. Aye. Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
And Councilmember Barker.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 6, or excuse me, 7, administrative reports. Airport, Mr. Bryan.
Okay, let's see, no new maintenance items at this point. We're getting to the end of the mowing season rapidly here, so we're gonna try to get one last good field mow for that area between the runway and the parallel taxiway where we have the majority of our growth. So gonna get that in the next couple of weeks, and then kind of change everything over and start converting the stuff over for plowing later on this year. For CIP projects, as we've discussed previously, the FAA has been extremely slow in issuing all of the grant paperwork this year. Normally we'd have everything by the first half of July. We've only received our grant paperwork for the tank. We still haven't received the grant paperwork for the asphalt maintenance project. Somehow that project just luckily, I guess, ended up in their last round of paperwork, which they said would be out by the 10th of September. We still haven't seen it. So we're quickly kind of running out of our window to get that asphalt work done. So hopefully we'll get that really quick here, and then we'll have the attorney review it, we'll bring it to council and go through that process to get that paperwork executed. But and they have this fixed deadline that all the paperwork has to be signed by the 16th of this month. So I don't know how they're going to address that since they haven't even issued the paperwork yet. So there's going to have to be some flexibility there, but more to come on that project. Let's see, sold approximately 5,800 gallons of fuel since July 1st, or about $32,000. Expecting to probably need to purchase another round of fuel sometime by later October at this pace. Just kind of depends on how the weather holds up and flying season goes. In the Forest Service, despite all the fires and everything, we've really been in a location that has caused the Forest Service to want to activate our land use agreement. So we haven't had any action from that yet this year. I don't suspect that we will at this point, but good that the fire season has been good to us in that way. So that's all I have.
Any questions, Brian, from the council? Okay, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Along with finance, Jeff, fire department.
The monthly stats in your packet. So in August, we had 66 requests for service. Out of those 66, we had 42 medicals and 20 fire calls, 4 motor vehicle accidents, and we had 1 missed call in the month of August. So that was good. Year to date, at the end of the month, end of August, then we're at 475 requests for service. We had 176 in the town, 268 within the district, 31 mutual aid calls, and out of that we had 31 missed calls as well for the year to date, end of August. So again, it's a staffing issue on the medical missed calls during the daytime, getting people that can leave work and whatever and make those calls. So we're missing out on some calls that way. So again, we're trying to bolster more EMS people or EMS staff. What we run into is training. Training up EMTs is expensive. It costs money. We have no money in which to do that with. So it's kind of a thing that we're chasing around, trying to do the best we can to keep that up and keep that going and fill that need. It's an obvious need in the community to provide EMS care with 354 requests for service thus far this year. It's a huge part of what the fire department does. So that's where that's at. Moving on, we are going to be conducting and doing our pump tests our annual pump test that's going to happen this Friday in conjunction with the district. Contractors are coming down to do all the apparatus at one time as a way to save some dollars on their expense and on that end of it. So that's going on. The last rounds of the grant should be awarded shortly, so we'll see what happens with the radio stuff. We're still in the running. We'll see what happens there. So that's still hanging out there. It's kind of where we're at on all those types of things. FYI information, in 2026, the Stevensville Fire Department and the Rural Fire District will jointly be hosting the Montana State Firefighters Convention here in the town of Stevensville. I'm looking to bring in around 250 volunteers from around the state to come to that convention. So we're working on getting that all put together and putting that on. So it's coming to town. It hasn't been to town ever. Last year it was in Libby, so it's coming down this year, which serves us quite well because we'll have a huge training opportunity in all 13 different departments up and down the valley. We'll also have those training opportunities as well. So it's good for the community, good for the valley to have that come to town.
Any questions on the council to Jeff? Councilman Smith?
Yeah, Chief Motley, could you give me an estimate of what it takes to train an EMT? How much?
It's a 120-hour class. The cost to do that class is right around $1,000 per student.
Thank you.
And that's when we do it within the Valley County Fire Council. If you go outside of the Valley County Fire Council, it's anywhere from $1,500 to $2,400, $2,500, depending on who you go to and who does it.
Thank you.
How many hours was that again, Jeff?
120. Yeah, you have 120 hours of class time. You have 24 hours of ride-along time and 24 hours of emergency room time as well. So it bumps it up some, but yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Move along to the fire department, Mr. Chief Bowler.
Police department.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, the first thing I wanted to say was, I know Reverend Scribner is here, and he's still here. This was his brainstorm earlier with the his shadow box with the American flag in it and the pictures. And he came to me and asked me about it several weeks ago, and I thought it was a great idea. And he kind of followed through on it, and took it on his own initiative to complete that task, and it looks pretty great. So thank you, Reverend Scribner and your family. Chief Motley for assisting us with the silent parade this morning down to the Veterans Park. It was a great event. It was a privilege and an honor for myself and our staff to be able to participate in something like that. So pretty cool. Like Chief Motley said, you should have in your packets the steps for August 2025. And I'll just start out. We're about average. We're running around between 75, 85 calls a month. We ran 83 in the month of August, made 3 arrests, and those include adult/juvenile arrests. It's all combined in the same staff. We stopped 18 vehicles and issued 9 citations, and those include town ordinances and or state violations. Big month for traffic accidents. Apparently, we responded to and took 9 traffic accident reports in the month of August, which is our high mark. The big 3 I refer to, homicides, robberies, and burglaries, we're still showing goose eggs across the board. And we can attribute that to a lot of active patrolling out on the street and being a deterrent to criminal activity, being visible out on the street. So we did have 2 thefts, and those are primary gas drive-offs over at Cenex. We seem to have a rash of those different times of the year, and we typically solve those. We had 1 domestic assault, or PFMA, in the month of August, and that's a case that's still ongoing. No sex crimes, 2 fraud crimes. And then as we scroll down, it was actually a good month. We had three welfare checks, 3 lost and found properties. I noticed that lost and found property is starting to find its way to the police department like never before. But we're prepared for that. And then, of course, we also hit another benchmark. We had 10 burglar alarms or 911 hangout call responses here in the town limits of Stevensville. And then 0 victim notifications. Again, thank you, Chief Motley and Reverend Scribner for all they do for the town. And to my guys. Any questions for? That was easy.
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
We can do it easy.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have anything to add for Public Works? As far as the QA or anything?
Everything's on QR. Everything should be included in QR.
Do you want to give us an update on Vic on Spring Street?
Yeah.
I know it's not popular, but
So last Thursday, I wouldn't even be able to be here at this time because we worked a 10-hour day last Thursday with a Spring Street leak. Thought we had it. We had it. And then apparently it sprung another one. So we gotta go back and re-dig it. Yeah, the spring, the water's only like that deep under there. You gotta pump it out the whole time while you're digging. It's a nightmare. So it was all day. And we thought we had it buttoned up and got wet again. And it's just an old galvanized line running under the street. And I think that's popping another one. So we'll get back at that next week, fix that. I read one thing that said, we don't see any results. We don't see where this water bill increase money is going. I never see him on the street. I never see him doing anything. Well, you'd have to be in my hip pocket to see me and what we do every day. So we've had 3 very unusual digs in the last month and a half. We had a huge water main break going down to the sewer plant. The 2-inch line, that was an all-day deal. Don't know why it broke. It's PVC. I don't know why somebody in the past ran PVC instead of poly or galvanized or whatever. That was fun. That was a big pit and that was wet. Hard to fix. We fixed it. Had one over on Main Street. That was actually an irrigation leak, but our curb stop wouldn't work. So we had to replace our curb stop. But in the meantime, we were able to add a new water meter for a previously unmetered irrigation. So now we're accounting for the water that they're irrigating with. And then the Spring Street deal that we thought we had fixed. But there's 3 examples right there. Some of those came about as a result of the big leak detection test we had. We know we have probably a main break at 4th and College, I think. So we'll have to get on that before it gets too cold. So just because you don't see us out there, and it doesn't mean we're not. Because my back is killing me today. I had to take off 2 days in the afternoon because I hurt my back from working. And some of the things that you read and hear are just not accurate. So you want to follow me around one day, you're welcome. Come on. So, anybody? Anything else?
thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Moving on to item number 8, public hearings. Item number A, resolution number 573, a resolution of the town council of the town of Stevensville, Montana, providing for the amendments to the budget of the fiscal year 24-25. It's a chance for anybody in the public to come up and speak. Podium. Okay, seeing none, we're moving on to item number B, public hearing. This has to do with the preliminary budget for the fiscal year 25-26. Any comments from the public on the public hearing? Okay. Seeing none, moving on to item number 9, new business. A, informational proclamation to thank donors to the Lewis and Clark Park and the Stevensville Pool So as you know, a lot of you, there's a lot of improvements that were made down at the park this year. A lot of the donors were able to, the two banks were able to give us money. There's kind of a proclamation here. Other people, private donors, were gracious to come to town hall and donate money. So with that, I'd like to read a proclamation. Whereas local businesses, private individuals, organizations, and foundations in and around Stevensville, and whereas graciously donated time and funds to support our Lewis and Clark Park and the Stevensville Pool, and whereas the generous support of our donors is essential to the success of our park and pool, and whereas we wish to publicly acknowledge and thank all businesses, individuals, organizations, and foundations that have contributed, and now therefore be it proclaimed that on this 11th day of September 2025, we, the town of Stevensville, do hereby extend our deepest gratitude to all for their generosity and commitment and their great work on making our parks a better place. In witness thereof, I have hereunder set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Stevensville to be affixed on this 11th day of September 2025. I want to thank everybody for that. I especially want to thank Jeff Towing. They did. Him and his brother stepped up so graciously to paint our pool, to get it all fixed up at Steve's No, and we definitely couldn't have did it without them. $3,000. Between them and the banks and everybody else, we did pretty good this year. We should really give them a hands up when you see them. So with that, thank you, and we'll move on to item number B, informational of the battles that our town has been through. Mr. Scrivener got up, did his presentation already. Chief Bo got up. You can see by the plaque up there and the flag. It's, I was deeply honored by it because I've been here now 10 years. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly through this town hall. And it's just a sign that after I'm gone, Mayor Gibson can attest to that. It continues to go on. Local government doesn't stop for any of us. Down the road, I'll be gone, Wally will be gone, Stacy will be gone, moving places take their place. But hopefully government is still here, for better or for worse, but it has to be there, it has to move on. We have to make sound decisions for the town, for the general public. That's who we serve. So with that, thank you. I'll move on to item number C. Discussion decision, resolution number 573, a resolution of the town council of the town of Stephenville, Montana, providing the amendments of the budget for the fiscal year 24-25. Can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Barker.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 5738, resolution of the town of, of the town council of the town of Stevensville, Montana, providing for the amendments of the budget for the 24-25.
Motion by Councilmember Barker, and I add a second. Councilmember Smith.
I second.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Smith. So if there's any questions that the council would like to ask Robert, Regina right now, as far as the amendments, now would be the time. In fact, if it's okay with the council, I would like to have Robert go through it and explain each budget amendment so that the public knows what they're for. Is that okay? Sure. Okay.
Okay, the first one for the building code enforcement fund for 9,100 is because we had more inspections than we anticipated, and that's a contract to. Yeah. Construct Montana. So we make a guesstimate every year of how many he's gonna do. He gets like 95% of the money. So we just assumed that way, like he did more than we thought he was gonna do. So that 9,100 is for that. The next one, the gas appropriation fund. After the budget was passed last year, Gina went out and found a grant from House Bill 357, which 355 gave us $147,000 extra, which we then spent on Spring Street and then did some on Railroad, which made us go over budget $66,600. So we actually didn't spend all the money we were originally going to spend in our budget, but we had to spend some of that grant money in that line. The next one is the airport fund, 5610. $17,500, and we've already talked through this. That was a fuel purchase, and they've recovered that money, and another fuel purchase is continuing going on, which is bringing in the airports and a little bit of revenue right now and gas at the airport. So that was for that reason. The last one is the gas appropriation fund. That is allowing us to take 25% of the money received from the state and put it in a street equipment capital asset fund so that we can track what we can buy equipment versus fixing on the roads. And that just is moving that $22,595 into that street equipment capital asset fund. And that's the budget moves.
Council have any questions for Robert on the budget amendment? I'll open up to the public. Does the public have any comments on the budget amendments for fiscal year 24-25? Seeing none, Janelle, would you please take the vote?
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
And Councilmember Bragg?
Motion passes 3-0. Moving on to item number D, discussion decision, a resolution 574, a resolution for adopting a budget and adopting wages and salaries for the town of Stephenville, fiscal year 25-26. So as you know, we started our first budget workshop back in June. There was a lapse in July. Some stuff didn't come in on time. 2 meetings ago, the bills were passed, so we're going to step in the direction. I'd like to ask if this is your budget. Hopefully, because of the glitch of the Bitterroot Star, we were able to have it the last meeting. And as you know, the SCADA system down there, as far as the wastewater, is just barely breathing. So passing this budget tonight, along with a lot of other things, moves everything forward. All I would ask is, once I get a motion, once I get a second, if it is okay with the council, I would like to open it up to Robert and Gina, and they can go through it with you. I will ask the council if they have any questions, I take direct them to Robert and Gina. And then once those are done, then I will open it up to department heads, so that we don't go back and forth and all that. Department heads open it up, they can have questions. And then after that, when the council has its say, the department heads have their say, and I will open it up to the public. Is that okay with the council? Okay. Okay with that, can I get a motion, please? Councilmember Brett.
I move to adopt resolution number 574, a resolution for adopting a budget and adopting wages and salaries for the town of Stevensville, Montana, fiscal year 25-26.
We have a motion by Councilmember Brett, do I have a second, please? Councilmember Barker.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion, we have a second by Councilmember Barker on resolution 574. So with that, with the permission from the council, Robert and Gina, you take it away.
Okay. Start off with just do the wages first. Nothing's changed from the wages from the last two meetings we had. And I got it showing up here, so I go by exception, but I don't think we need to go line by line again for the third time. So if you have any questions with the wages, we'll entertain that right now and answer the questions. That's the same one you've been looking at.
Yes.
So I gave a 2.5% raise to everybody, a couple targeted raises, mainly the police department from 23 to 24. You know, they went up, one went up $1, the other one up $2 for the SRO. Then we went back up to 275 for council members in our areas.
And we have a 20% reserve this year on overall budget.
Right now, yes. Questions?
No question from the council, Robert, with the wages.
Okay. Okay, this sheet you've seen here, this is the overall budget. What we're actually approving are appropriations and revenue. Okay. This sheet, as I mentioned, Smith, the cash has changed from the last time. And that was just because we end up finishing up the reconciliation and turning it over to the auditors, and we closed the books. And actually cash went up $3,700 in that process, $3,700. But you're not approving cash, so this is what's going to be returned to the state, because that's what our books say at the end of the year. We can go back to the old one and talk, but this main difference is $3,700, right? Everything is changed. So let me go back. I guess the best way to go, after we've been through each line by line, and you guys had since the 15th of August to look at it. I sent out the changes from the last budget worksheet. Those are all in the budget. And I sent out to you on the 15th. And that reflects what's right here right now. Is there any questions with anything with the budget? We can go any way you want to go. We can target certain things, or we can go line by line again. That's what the council wants to do.
How would the council like to proceed with your budget? Would you like to slow it down and go line by line, section by section? Why don't you do that, Robert?
What is best for the people?
Yes, let's do it that way. Public.
Okay. That's yeah.
I've been studying this for the last 2 days and I'm cross-eyed.
Yeah, it's,
Well,
For each fund?
that's it.
yeah. I think that'd be a hard way to, bottom line is the number at the end. So if there are no questions or any particular item, and some of the department heads may, and later on, I don't think so, but it's just the expenses versus, what we have. We can do the revenue. The revenue has not changed, The big difference was, after we got the mills back, we did gain back up to $380,000. And we have a 2 mil increase, special mill levy for wind damage, we should spell wrong on that one. But we need $700,000 for that two mill levy, $7,000 for the 2 special mill levy that the county's doing for us. So that's gonna be on the taxes too. And that had to do with that wind damage from before. Another big one, cannabis, about $25,000. That's pretty good. There's a business license. So all on taxes, we have $462,109 in taxes. Licenses, permits, $50,050. Intergovernmental, we're looking at about $257,113. A lot of that's just state highway share and some gaming permits. And the charges for services, the biggest one that's there is our SRO, $37,000. We have fingerprinting, we have sale of cemetery plot, pavilion rentals, field use, swimming pool, about $28,000. So those charges for service are $76,450. We're going to make about $9,000 for the court. Then we have miscellaneous revenue. This miscellaneous revenue right here, $49,000. Most of that's the insurance claim that we have for the wind damage. And it's going to be paid. Here's kind of what they're paying. They're paying a new roof for the pavilion, $9,000 deductible, pool fence, some tree losses, about $36,000 in tree loss. So from miscellaneous revenue, and then, that's from the Stevensville firefighter. They gave us $1,200 for electricity this year for that part of the, $1,200 for electricity.
You know.
Yeah. So then we get $5,000 for rental of police department, or the fire department, and then we have some contribution gifts, possibly that whole thing about whole group's about $59,500. We have investments, about $26,000 investments, giving us a revenue of $940,922. We have a fund more, print it. Planning fund, we're looking at about $5,000 on the planning fund. That's the TIF fund, about $26,000 in the TIF fund.
Hey, Robert, did you ever get with Jody yet on extending that, or is that gonna sunset?
That one's gonna sunset in just a couple months. November. This one will sunset, meaning the way you keep it from sunsetting is you take out bonds for a project, and you go for another 20 years. And that one you have to pay off those bonds. We haven't done anything with this money since we got it, so it's kind of
We use it for the crossing takeout.
we're doing the crossing takeout, yeah. For the next one, if you look at the Ted district, okay, you get about 17,000. It's gonna sunset next year. We have time to do something with this money to possibly generate some revenue to the airport. And we're gonna bring that back to you here in a little bit about what we can do with that, to possibly take out some bonds to expand that revenue stream for the 20 years. We're close to it, whatever we get. It could possibly be making a T hanger so we get more revenue coming. But that's something we're gonna bring back to you. Right now, we get about 17,000 for that one. Bill the code enforcement, about 34,000. That's that projection of what we think he's gonna do for inspections. Lighting districts, what we collect from lighting districts, we got 5 of them, 3,350 for one, 2,300 for the second one, 2,800 for the third one, 5,420 for the fourth one, and 4,800 for the fifth one. That's already been turned in and approved. We already received this money, 7,732 for the police training fund. The gas appropriation money, we're looking to get about it's gonna be looking more, this is what's gonna go into the fund because we have the 25% in the budget going into the asset replacement fund. So what's gonna go on the gas appropriation fund is about 93,593. That's a debt fund. Another debt fund. We have nothing to expend in the capital fund. The airport fund, nothing, sidewalk fund, nothing to spend there this year. Same with the fire engine capital fund, nothing to spend there, or revenue there, I should say. Water. We're looking at in the operating fund, we're getting about, just off the charge for services, $709,000. Of that, we collect 91,800 for the bond. We have investments of about 27,000 for a grand total, 827,328 for the water fund. Capital asset fund. We're putting any infrastructure asset, water infrastructure fees that we put in there, that's about 3,000. What comes off the bills for asset replacement for the water equals 187,550. All the investment income for the water itself will go into the capital asset account, which is about 26,000. And then we're transferring from the operating fund to the asset fund, 600,000 to make the operating fund a complete operating fund with no extra cash in it. So
Hey, Robert, I'd like to add that, as far as that water capital asset account, we had a meeting with Eli Malloy of HDR, Gina and I, and he informed us that there is grants available out there for storage tanks now. And as we all know, the town needs one. We haven't heard, he kind of said he didn't think there was a match, but then we know how that goes, Gina. Just, it's preliminary, but there is funding out there. But it's good to know that now that we have a capital asset account, that we can meet the money that will be used to match for a storage tank for the town. So to me, that's exciting news. That's something we've only been talking about as long as I've been here, as long as Mr. Gibson's been here, 2016 growth policy, on and on and on. So that's good news. Thank you, Robert.
So the asset account's gonna go up at 816,000, of which 600,000 is coming out of the water fund itself. Okay, water leak repair, this is just to finish up that project. Basically, it's almost done anyway, we just have to pay the last bit of bills on that, we collected all the money for it. We just have to pay the bills. That's the debt fund. Sewer, we're gonna make about 462,568 on charges. We collect about 189,000 for the bond. Investment income 23,000, so they're gonna make 675,000 for 547. Sewer asset, on the bill, we collect about 113,400 on the asset portion of the bill. All the money for the sewer investment will go there, about 26,000. And we're taking 400,000 out of the sewer fund and putting in the sewer asset fund, once again making the sewer operating fund, so it matches what we're gonna pay out each other with just a little bit of buffer. All that fund's gonna go up to 539,400.
Robert?
Yes.
I'd like to add as part of the sewer, as we know, the SCADA system on the sewer end is limping along barely. We were also informed by HDR that came and did all the previews and that, and told Steve and I that our plant is ending the near of its lifespan. It's starting to die. So things are gonna start to break down even more frequently now. So thank God we have the sewer asset account too, now that's going, that we can tip into. Because in the past, when we just had it in one big account, whenever needed money for whatever, it was just taken out of the account. So I think it's very transparent, it's more open to the public can see where their money is going as far as fixing things, buying new items, whatever it is down there. So I think it's a good deal. Thank you, Robert.
Last one is the airport fund, and we've got 3,800 for taxes. The big one is the fuel, they're gonna be taking about 68,300. Well, that's expenses though too, but, then we have hangar and lease, 13,000, user fees and business license, 7,750. They got investments of 1,500, so they got about 94,518 in revenue. This is the airport project here for upcoming fuel tank and payment rehab. The federal grant is about $534,170. The state grant is $39,333, about total $573,503 for that project, which is 100% paid for by the state and the feds. And then we have the fireman disability, which is already collected and passed out. Questions with revenue?
Any questions from the council on the revenue side of the budget before I turn it over to department heads? Jeff, Steve, Brian, you guys have any questions on the revenue side of it? No. Seeing none from department heads, we'll open it up to the public. Is there any members of the public that have any questions or concerns on the revenue side of the budget?
I just have a question, on the TIF money, you said if we don't use it, do we lose it?
No,
Oh, okay,
just,
because I was like,
We just don't get it anymore.
you don't get it anymore, okay, all right, that was my only.
Mr. Cabot?
I'm just curious, it hasn't anything to do with revenue, but the bond that we have we reduced the principal at all on that?
every year.
Water and sewer?
Yeah, every year it goes down a little bit. Those are, 30.
We haven't made any extra payments on it?
Nope.
What is the balance still?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but they're 40-year bonds, so I think we're in year 5 or 6 at least. So
40-year bond?
Yeah, and if you talk to them,
Some of them are different though.
Yeah,
Some,
there's-
some of them are different, some are longer, some we've been in like 12 years, some are like 5.
the biggest one for the water is the big one.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them, normally what happens with those things, that you're gonna end up having to upgrade your plant before you ever pay off the loan.
Yeah.
And so they actually roll back in that loan again, which we did when we did the last project, long before my time. You just roll that back money into another bond and it just keeps going. And they say, I just don't know how, unless we charge a heck of a lot more to pay that off.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a.
Any other comments from the public? Is it okay with council if we moved out of the revenue section into the next section of the budget? Okay with that, Robert and Gina?
So I'm just gonna, instead of going line by object, I'm just gonna go by account. So the legislative services, those are spending $24,919. The executive services, the mayor, we're looking at about $6,709. City court costs us about $81,654. Prosecuting services, this is just our town lawyer to prosecute for crimes there, $16,000. Audit services out of the general fund, $19,200. The administrative portion of town, basically, front office here is about $125,027. Costs about $1,800 for the election. Legal services as a whole, $18,000. Town hall, between the building and the annex and the building for repairs and stuff is $8,600. The police department itself costs us $319,819. Fire department is broken up into 4 different accounts. Administration is right there. So they're $73,435 for the administration portion of it. For this fire station here, this fire station is about $7,000. For the one up at the airport, $2,100. We have nothing for fire prevention this year. That suppression is actually the firefighting itself. Okay, anything to do with firefighting itself. And that portion right now, right there is $36,640. The ambulance service out of that is, that's the medical service right there, $3,200. And that's the fire department. Public Works Administration, and that's the portion of about $35,928. That's the general fund portion of Public Works. We have street services, $70,800. That lighting itself is about just the main lighting in town. We have lighting districts that are paid. Some lighting districts are paid for by the community, the housing and resident units when they were put in that way, and there's some lighting around town, the town pays for general lighting, do 1 or 2 lights per street. That comes out of this account, and that's 13,000. The cemetery itself is gonna cost us about 11,260. Parks, just parks itself, 59,289. Forestry and nursery, that's really taking care of the trees in town and all that. This year it's jumped up at 49,250. But we have that big money come back from the insurance, which is gonna cover most of this cost of the professional services. So it's a trade-off. The swimming pool itself costs about 49,148. We make about 28,000. Bath pad, 2,800. And then for total expenditures in the general fund of 982,614. And then planning, right now we have really nothing coming out of the planning fund this year. Insurances, it's just the money, they've done the money in the fund. So it's $250 coming out of there. That's wise. About $40,000 from the TIF money for the railroad crossing near the school. That's what's that money. Out of the TED district, the airport pays off a loan, $7,475. 2 more payments left of that, and it's paid off. You want me to drug money, building code, probably make about 44,974. And the lighting districts, we're going to put 3,600 from one, 2,614 from number 2, number 3, 3,534 from number 3, number 5, 5,520. And Twin Creeks, number 5, 6,150. And that money is, it's all different, but it's all, the only thing is the bill, the electric bill to run the lights, that's all we pay. Nothing else comes out of that, just pure electric bill. Theoretically, if one of those went down, we'd have to, it's up to us, the town to fix the lighting pole itself, if it went down, we would never have that problem. Lease pension fund, we're looking to spend about what I call training fund, 8,150, and that's that money we get from the state. Gas appropriations, 129,500. And go, Thomas is done. This one done. Nothing for the site, we're spending nothing on the sidewalk capital. That's a good fund. Water itself, look at water, just an operating fund for water. $1,309,282. Run off the water fund. Capital asset, we're gonna spend about $200,000 out of that.
Hey, Robert?
Yep.
Do our water rights attorney fees, will Ross Miller and that, do they all come out of that?
Yep, they all come out of that. That was a big one. Sure. Okay, and then water asset, 200,000. Water. How much we have to spend? Capital outlay, 392.50. Water bonding fund is a debt fund, We moved it in the operating fund. Sewer as a whole, we're gonna run the operation of the sewer plant, costs us $1,065,857. And then, capital asset, we're gonna spend on the sewer, 248,000. That's 200,000 for repairs, computer upgrade, dryers and, bulbs for the, replacement bulbs for the sanitizer, I guess you call it. Yeah. That's a good fund. And the airport's looking to spend as a whole, $119,224. And of course, $158,000 for the project for the fuel tank and some of the replacement of the pavement. So if you look at that, that is all right here. So each one of those big numbers there, that's the one. All those numbers I just left are these numbers right here. And that was that's the expenditures in the line. And this is the revenue line. So if you look at this chart, we have what we're going to spend, what we have to have in cash reserve gives us our total requirement. And this is our cash available at the end of the year. Then we have, for the revenue side, we have investment, non-revenue, these are all our fees and stuff that we charge, and then our tax revenue gives our total revenue, and that gives our total resources. So when you look at this, you're basically your total resources minus that's all. So bottom line, at the end of the year, we're gonna have $4,174. That's not what the cash, I mean, you would add that to our cash reserve, so we're at about $200,000. So it actually turns out to about 20.3% cash reserve.
Hey Gina, could you give us an estimate on the total on what our investment income was this last year?
The last year it was 116,000.
116,000, and that goes into the general fund.
No, it's split between the general, the water, the sewer, and.
Spread all around. Okay.
Yeah, it's split. And I assume if it will stay kind of about the same this year, if the interest rates stay where they are. If the interest rates go down, obviously, it will kind of be different. So.
Right now in the budget, there's 89,440. And so it's kind of a lower figure than we got last year, but it's all based on interest rates. And if it stays high, we're good. If it goes low, that's why we put the lower number in there. Because I hate to spend money that we don't have.
So with that, I'll turn it over to the council before I go to department heads and to Steve. Is there any questions that the council would like to add? I know you mentioned earlier about the firemen's EMT. Would you like to make a motion on that? Do you have an amount you'd like to add?
Okay. I would like to move that we add to the firemen's training. I hear three EMTs would cost about $3,000, so we're looking for that. So I would move $3,000 to move into the training for the fire department.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Smith to add that. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a second by Councilmember Parker.
I have a question from the chief.
Once we get a motion, then
He's waved off, it's all right.
we have a motion in a second. Okay, now open it up to discussion on the amendment on the $3,000 addition for the EMT training.
After listening to the chief, it's rather important in order to get and keep our fire department and firefighters. That's why I'm all for that.
Councilmember Parker.
How many are you setting at right now, Jeff, for your department, their number wise?
I think it's 13 or 14.
Any comments on that amended motion? To add that? Before I turn it over to Jeff in the public?
So do you want that money to go to EMS training or fire training? Because there's two different training accounts.
What do you need?
Neither of them have any money in them.
What do you need the most?
Well, I guess it'll go back to Gina and Robert, what account should that be put into to meet Wally's ask?
I think the EMT fund, I think that's where the money is.
I mean, I hear you saying you want to help fund the EMS training, right? For $3,000?
Yeah, it could either be EMT training or the other. It's,
Okay.
what does the fire department need most?
We need people.
Yeah,
We need trained EMTs is what we need the most right now.
then I would amend that it goes to the training, to
Yeah,
that training that
EMS
you just
training
mentioned,
fund.
yes.
I mean, that's the line item that would be put under EMS training.
EMS training, all right.
Thank you.
Any further comments? Seeing none for the council, can we take a vote on that? Janelle, would you take the vote on the amended motion on training for the fire?
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Barker? Aye. And Councilmember Bragg?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Okay, moving along. Is there any other additions, subtractions, or anything that the council would like to add to the budget? Any questions you'd like to ask?
Okay, I guess it's at this point, I have a couple of concerns. And first off, I'd like to move that when we are passing the budget, that is probably the most important thing we do. And it would seem to me that we should have all of our council members here. So I would like to move to table this until next meeting, till we have all of our council members here to give full input. So that is my motion.
We have a motion on the floor to table this budget meeting workshop. Do we have a second? Seeing none, we'll move along.
Seeing none, then I would like to move to table resolution 474, because quite frankly, this budget does not balance. When it comes to mathematics and what have you, I'm not a scholar, but I can do basic arithmetic. And going by the very first page that was given to us in the packet, which there was a different first page on our desk today as we walked in. But it says on the formula up here, to get line number 7, we have to add 5 and 6. Well, on the very first line, we have 452,813 on line 5 and 462,109 on line 6. That adds up to 914,000, not 940. So we have a $26,000 error right there. This budget does not balance just on that alone. Therefore, we cannot pass it. So I would like, once again, to table this till next session so these things can get corrected. And I have a couple of other things too. Go ahead.
You made a motion.
I made one motion, yeah,
We have a motion to table this.
but I could give you the other explanations as well.
Do we have a second on that motion? Seeing none, motion fails.
Okay, I am still going to move to table this till next regular meeting, because if you were to look at, let me see, the MCA, as you said, 7640, 764020, and we're supposed to be approving salaries and wages and what have you. It says in letter F, schedules and summary of tables of personnel and position counts for the prior budget year, current budget year, and proposed budget year. The budgeted amounts for personnel services must be supported by a listing of positions, salaries, and benefits for all positions of local government. The listing of positions, salaries, and benefits is not required to be part of the budget document. Therefore, that means there should be a separate document that are listing the positions and the salaries and the benefits for the people to see. And that was not included in the packet. People did not have this opportunity to see the wages and what have you. So my motion is to table this until this can be corrected.
With that, there is a motion on the table to table the meeting, to bring it back up, to bring the wages before the public in a tentative fashion. We have a motion, do we have a second? Councilmember Barker.
Just a quick question. This is just for the wages you're wanting to see? Just this right here, the wages.
But that's not included in the packet for the people. They did not get to see this.
So how would you pass a budget without seeing these items?
Actually, as I understand it, the budget, or the resolution should be two resolutions. One for the wages and one for the budget. We can't really separate the resolution. It has to go the way it's written.
Councilmember Barker.
I've seen this in the past of, we have passed it the same way with no other discussion. I don't understand why now, when it could have been brought to the town hall before this, the discussion, because I know that I came in to go over the whole budget with Gina. She sat down with me and went from line item to line item and answered my questions. I guess I'm kind of confused of why we waited so long to now bring it forth in front of everybody. I mean, we emailed back and forth if we need something from the town. Why wasn't this something that was brought up? Hey, why isn't this included? Why didn't we separate this? Could have been an easy solution.
You want my explanation?
Councilmember Smith.
I only saw it 2 days ago.
Councilmember Barker.
The packet has been out for over a week. It comes out on a Thursday.
No, the actual packet has been out since Tuesday. Because it was
It was sent out on Thursday, last Thursday.
Because I reviewed it last Thursday in the packet, all of
the
it.
actual agenda and all the amendments was on Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock.
No, sir.
Just the addition of minutes and claims.
Thursday, 9/4/2025, 5:10 p.m.
Whether or not I saw it 2 days ago or a week ago, it's still a problem here where we have to have it for the people and it's not there. They have the right to know and to participate.
I'm still looking for a second on Mr. Smith's motion to table this, to bring the wages and salaries back. Seeing none, motion fails. Okay, is there any other questions from the council on the budget? I'll turn it over to the department heads, are there any comments on the department heads on the budget?
I have had enough of this.
I'll turn it over to the public. Steve?
Steve Gibson, Stevensville. I just have a comment that goes back to bonds. And as Mayor Michelson, when you were on the council some time ago, prior to me being the mayor, and Robert, you were the finance officer, the town decided to look at refinancing with the interest to take down the bonds. And you all agreed to that. The council at that time, even Mayor Dewey. By the time I got there, the interest rates have gone back up. But I would really strongly suggest, if they continue to go down, that you really look at that strongly to take the burden off the people of Stevensville. Because there is a way to lower that. There is a way, and you know that, Robert, and you know that, Mayor. So in the near future, I would follow those interest rates for the people of Stevensville to reduce the interest that would pay down that bond. Thank you.
Thanks. Councilmember Martin?
Can I ask a question to Mr. Taddick?
Yes, you're allowed.
Can you explain that, Mr. Taddick? Because you being in the banking, I am not really familiar with that interest, how that works towards bringing those bonds down, but can you explain that if you have that knowledge for it?
I can't really explain it either. I mean, Robert probably would be able to explain it better than I can.
Yes, Rob.
So at the time, we brought that before the council, the interest rates were the lowest they were, and they were lower than what we're paying right now. And then the council said, okay, let's go forward and try to refinance those loans. During that time, there was some, I don't want to blame you, I don't blame you, but there was some stuff going on, and that did not get done between the transition from myself to the next finance officer. And the interest rates went up. Now, to refinance, we have to do over 3%. The money's got to be cheap before we make interest. Right now, you know, the USDA said it's stupid to refinance because you pay more interest. So we have to wait before the interest rates go down below 3% before we get any benefit from refinancing.
I guess a simple way to do it is if you had a home loan and you're paying 6% of that home loan, it wouldn't make sense to refinance that home loan at 7%. Yeah. So if you cut down to 3%, refinance your home loan. The same thing with the bonds.
Councilmember Walker?
Sorry to put you on the spot, Mr. Taddick.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public on the budget?
I just have a question.
Yes.
You all have a budget of your very own at your house, okay? And you all have a certain amount of money income and a certain amount of money that goes out, right? So they have to balance somewhere along the way, or you put the extra into a savings account. Why is this budget not balancing income and debt or whatever? Why does it not balance? And how can you pass it if it doesn't balance? I agree with Wally. I think you need all the council here. I don't think it's right that you pass a budget that's not correct. And I think I have heard that all over town. Okay, thank you.
Robert, could you explain about balancing the budget? This came up last year.
Okay, so the only fund you're really talking about is the general fund of all the funds. And that's the tightest fund in this. Since I've been here, we have always had a spend now. We never spend it. And so if you look at last year's budget, we didn't spend all the money in it. So it's 87%. And that's why we have more cash in the beginning of the year. And so when you look at the budget, this is the area we can spend money at, but we have never done it yet. As this gets tighter and tighter, we will, but the requirement is we can't be over 30% cash in the general fund. We're gonna be at 21, 23 if we spend this budget. So we're right targeted where we should be at the end of the year. And I say next, and I say this every year, next year, we're gonna be tight as hell. It's gonna be tight. Well, every year, and then all of a sudden you don't spend that money and that money pops back up in the cash and we're in the same boat. You're right, if we had extra money, we would wanna put that in either the fire, general capital asset, street, sidewalks, or whatever, any, but right now, we don't have that. We don't have that extra cash to put in there. And so.
Robert, I just have a question. I think you said that your largest revenue is a general fund?
No, I said the only one.
But your largest revenue is water, too.
Yeah, I said the only one we're talking about for spend down is the general fund.
Okay, just one more question. What do you do now with Wally walking out?
You don't have to, you can take a,
You don't have a
we're
quorum.
going to take a quick 3-minute recess. I think I have an answer to that for us.
You start with the quorum.
Do you have a quorum?
You start with the quorum.
We started with a quorum though.
We started with quorum.
I guess we'll need 3 minutes. I was just doing the same little, in my head and looking everything up online. So we started with our council tonight at 3. And then our quorum, all we need to have then is 2. If we would have started tonight with our 4 and still had somebody walk out, we still would have had a quorum because we would have had 3, which would be the, just like a council is in or so the required majority. So in this case, we started our meeting with 3, and the required majority then to continue that vote would be 2.
So, excuse me, I mean,
Yes.
I'm not gonna disagree, I'm not an attorney.
No, please.
With 2 people, you don't have a quorum. So you're saying that because you started with 3 and now you have 2?
There's still
2
2
people,
thirds.
you don't have a quorum.
Correct.
In this case tonight.
Because on a regular council meeting, you have 4. One gets up and walks out, you have 3, which is still 2/3.
2/3.
Tonight, we started with 3. One individual got up and walked out. You still have 2 out of 3, which is 2/3, which is still a quorum. John?
I just wanted to go off that last question just for clarification. Mr. Underwood, you had mentioned that we're talking about the fact that it doesn't balance and it's kind of built. I want to understand if that's built into it to adjust for the year as money comes in and out, and it needs to have that flexibility. Is that what you're saying for a layman?
What I'm saying is if we spend the money in the budget 100%, we'll spend down $45,000 and we'll have a cash reserve of 20.3%, right where we should be. So we're not in trouble for that. Next year would be tight. But every year we do the same thing. I said that, I go, God, if we spend every money on the budget. And the question we've gone through 3 months of trying to cut this budget down.
So that amount that doesn't balance is accounted for somewhere else.
It's what's in cash. It's in cash, yeah.
Is that the cash remaining part?
Yeah, so
So that's what you would.
if you look right here, at the end of the year, if we spend the entire budget, we'll have 196,523. This is, just by the formula, you would add that to there, so it'd be $200,000. But we just spent 3,000 of that in training to go back into the budget. So we're gonna have 196,500 if we spent everything in the budget.
And that's, sorry, I was just gonna say, and that's in the general fund.
General fund, just the general fund.
But the reserve by state law, you have to have somewhere in range.
Yes,
like
yes.
12, 20, or 12.
Yeah,
no more than-
exactly. You can't have 130.
Any other comments from the public?
I just want to clarify that one last thing you said. How much by state law are you allowed to have? 20%, you said?
We can't have 130.
More than 30.
No less than how much? 12. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, we're good.
And that's money unaccounted for or money that isn't spent? It's held.
Money that's been spent, it's like in the bank in cash reserve.
You said no less
Excuse
than
me.
12%.
I don't know about state law, but I do know that in the state government, they talk about it all the time. There's no law about how much surplus you can have. If you're talking about surplus, money left over, there's no law like that. I mean, they've had governors that wanted 350 million, 400 million. It's an argument between the council and the executive. But I'm not aware of state law.
We'll get, if we're over 30% in the general fund, we'll get a fine. So, yeah, which we have had.
You say you get fined.
Well, fine, we're not. That means you're theoretically collecting more taxes than you should be. Not spending. You know, if we went over, the simplest thing to do is take some of that money and put it in asset account in the budget. I mean, that's just what you do.
Councilmember Parker.
So, can you explain then why it's not showing in total revenue, that number, why those are not?
Well, that one you talk about, it is, okay, his number, and this is my own thing, okay? I took out investment income. So instead of, if I want to show what the investment income was, that was not, right here, you see the 4.5. This is the state chart, right? I think I actually put this chart into the states. But if you look at the state chart, you'll be totally confused at it because it doesn't make any sense when you look at it like this. This is all the figures you have to do. So I took it and I put investment income here and I did the 4.5. I should take this out and look at it. All revenue, investment revenue, non-tax revenue and tax revenue equals $940,000. It's a simple thing.
So, I'm sorry to be a pain. So the money that Wally was referring to, that doesn't balance out, that's accounted for there in the.
It was $26,000 off.
That's the amount right there that we're talking about. And that is, investment.
Income, yeah.
So those numbers there all equal to that 940?
Yep. One, two, three.
Any further comments from the public on the overall budget? Or we take it to the council for a vote?
I would go say this has been out for almost a month. Okay, they've had it since August 15th. And my point is, you know, if we're a team and we work towards it as a team, find something, you bring it up right away. Bad news doesn't get better with time. And we just think, what's going to change next week? I don't know. Nothing's going to change.
Oh, one more question. Does it have to be published?
Does it have to be published?
Does it have to be published?
I don't believe the budget itself in its entirety has to be published, but they are required by law to submit. That's why we're holding it now, and didn't hold it a couple of weeks ago. Because, yeah, well, because it had to run the weeks before, not the budget itself, but a notice of public hearing, which was and so people can attend.
The budget packet is published a week before online. It's available in the office for the public, it's required by state law. Robert,
That same packet went out to the first meeting, with revenues and expenditures. And everything. So it's been out for a while.
yes.
Yeah, nothing's changed. Except for that cash, yeah.
Councilmember. Janelle.
So just to add for you guys on that, as soon as it went to the newspaper the first time,
Point of order, please, Janelle.
the first time that the information was to go to the newspaper to be ran the first two times and it missed the newspaper, that budget and that resolution for amendments were immediately sat inside town hall on the table for anyone to view. So they have been in for almost 8 weeks, pretty close to 8 weeks that the budget has been available. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no further comments from the public or the council, are we comfortable taking a vote? Okay. Janelle, would you please take the vote on the budget?
Councilmember Barker?
Aye.
And Councilmember Bragg?
Aye.
Motion passes 2-0. That is a quorum. Thank you. Wow, that was a long one. Anyway, move on to board reports. Councilmember Barker.
The planning and zoning board met last night. We had HDR as a guest who came and joined us. We talked about, the biggest thing that we talked about was our infrastructure, and the water tank and what grants that we have out there for, the town that we can actually use to be able to do the projects. I know some of them are very time sensitive, so they were gonna work on getting those out as soon as possible. Other than that, we advise, still invite the public to come and get involved with those meetings. We had 2 people that are actually citizens that came and joined us last night and gave us some input on some stuff that they'd like to see throughout the town as well.
Okay. Do you have anything, Councilmember Barker? Moving on to town council comments. Councilmember Barker.
I just like to give my prayers to those that were affected yesterday in the Orem, Utah shooting on the Charlie Kirk scenario. Just reminder to everybody that it doesn't matter what party you are, we're still human, we're still Americans, and this is kind of an eye-opener for everybody. Also, give my condolences also to those from 9/11. So,
Thank you. I'll move on to the executive report. On 9/2/25, Stephen, Janelle, Gina, Stacy, and I had a meeting with HDR regarding past, present, and future projects that we'll be adding to the growth policy. On 9/3/25, all the town staff held a bullying and harassment training with Derek Shepard of the MMIA. And in the afternoon, we had a breakout session with Derek, with all the department heads on the hiring process and how to do it. On 9/10, I had a meeting with Chad Smith, a Valley Drug owner, regarding the community center on Middleburn Fork Road. There hasn't anything passed on that, as Steve knows, when that came before us a few years ago, they wanted to put that sewer line in out there. Now there's talk that they're considering selling that, but they don't have sewer. So I did say that, not my decision, but I don't think that's a priority. And before, when Mr. Gibson was here as mayor, that we should be running a sewer line all the way down Park Street for one building that's empty. I told Chad that. He was very appreciative of it, but, next week, there's a meeting at the library with the Community Foundation, and I'll be attending to see if there's any ideas. There's talk of maybe even bringing back, de-annexing that portion so they can sell that, make it more attractive to a new owner maybe, that they could put a well in or something. That's where we're at on that. And today I attended the 9/11 ceremony here in Stephenville at Veterans Park. They had a small procession, as Chief Bo said this morning, fire trucks, Jeff. They had a little procession down there. They read the names of all the first responders that lost their lives in that terrible accident. So with that, that's my executive report. And I would like to move on to item number 13, the executive closed session. So with that, I would like the public to leave. And we will close the door and we will discuss litigation. Thank you.
Thank you for that amendment.